Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is your girl Tysheen. I am back with another video. So this one is 5 ways British and American suburbs look very different. It depends on what part of America though. I don't know why everybody always put all the states together as one. I don't every state is different, but I mean, let's see what he have to say, okay? Let's get straight to the video.
Why are there so many words for this? And what do you call it, other than that grassy thing over there?
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the suburbs.
Lost in the pond.
Specifically, how they differ when you go for a walk around them. For having lived in the suburbs of both countries, I'm well attuned to those differences, and so I'm going to talk about them today. Okay. And before we do that, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, do that now.
Subscribe to his channel.
In the meantime, let's go for a walk.
Let's go. You gonna keep going?
Aww.
You just love the camera, don't you? You're such a ham. You're such a ham. Look at you.
We're going to start this list by talking about something you may or may not have heard of called verges.
Verges are that little strip of grass on the other side of the pavement from the front yard. While these do exist in Britain, it's far more common to see a front yard / garden, a sidewalk / pavement, and then the road with the cars going in the other direction.
In America, it feels like 80% of the time you are on the verge of a verge. There are a lot of verges here.
And it's nice having them. I just wish that when I bought my house, somebody would have told me that I would be responsible for mowing them. Because while it sounds like small work, it's made harder by the fact that there's always a tree in the way. And while we're...
Wait, nobody told him that? Before he bought a house?
on the subject of trees...
Beautiful tree though.
I've talked before about how there are different types of trees here, but that's not what I want to talk about. Nor the notion that your average American suburb has more of them, because I'm not entirely sure that it does.
In fact, I want to talk about greenliness.
What's greenliness, Lawrence? Greenliness is a word that I made up to describe the degree to which something is green. Sort of like what cleanliness does for the word clean. I want to get a word into the dictionary.
And I can't really describe it, but I think there's something different about the greenliness of American trees compared to those in the United Kingdom.
I'm not a scientist, but I think there's a vibrancy to the leaves of trees in the United States that you just don't see in Britain. And I do wonder if some of that is due to photosynthesis, right? That's what we learned about in school. There's typically less cloud cover here in the United States compared to Britain. And I think that allows the greenliness of not just...
Am I the only one who loves trees? I love trees. I just don't want them too much around my house, you know, especially when it's a rainy, windy day, or, you know, you got to think about hurricane and all that other stuff. But I just love trees. I don't know why. I just love trees. I just look like I like to leave my house and just look at them, you know.
It's the trees, but the grass to take shape. I won't do that with a camera ever again.
Perhaps the most enduring image of a stereotypical American house is not the house itself, but the white picket fence that surrounds it.
But while America undoubtedly has more of these than Britain, a lot of American suburban homes are perhaps more notable for having no partition whatsoever.
In other words, there's often very little protecting your front yard from wandering humans or even children.
But he keeps saying America, but every suburbs are not the same. So, you know, when he says American, it's I mean, I'm not gonna say it bothers me, but I just wish they could be a little bit more specific when they talk about America. Like, what part of America? What part of what state you talking about? Because every suburb is not the same. Trust me, it's not.
Thankfully, despite the open invitation, people typically stick to the sidewalk, unless their name contains the words gym and chainsaw.
In Britain, an open-faced front yard is considerably less common, with most houses opting not for a fence, but a low-lying wall or hedge. In fact, it's often along these walls that you'll find our next entry.
In the past, I've talked about the general difference between British and American street names. For example, in Britain, virtually every town and city has a street named after Queen Victoria.
Yeah, that I know. I think I did a video about that. I wish I could find the video so I could, see I could go and check it out. I find the name of it though. Damn.
US, there's a good chance that your street name will contain either a president, a number, or a type of tree.
That is
But
true.
there's also a main
That I agree. That is so true.
major difference in how the street names are displayed.
In Britain, it's not uncommon for the name to be displayed on a 2-foot placard. These are normally mounted either onto 2 low-level poles or a wall.
In the US, things are a little different. The street names are housed on smaller, greener placards that sit
Yeah.
on a much taller pole. And given the grid-like nature of many American neighborhoods, these poles usually
I never heard of this one. American Gothic. I never heard of these streets before.
contain not one but 2 street names, one facing east or west, the other north or south.
This is why you'll often hear American film characters say something like, "Hey, Johnny, meet me at 21st and Washington on the double."
In Britain, we don't really do that. It's more like, meet me at the pub at 9 a.m. Bring your darts. And then there's the terminology we
But if you tell someone meet me at the pub, I'm assuming there's not a lot of pub then, because if I tell someone meet me at the mall, they're gonna be so confused. Like, what mall are you talking about? We have like thousands of mall. So imagine me tell my friend, meet me at the mall and bring your dog. Which mall? So I don't know. Wouldn't that be a little confusing though? I don't know.
use to describe the stuff in our respective suburban lands. You've got yard instead of garden, sidewalk instead of pavement, a downspout instead of a drain pipe, although Americans do also say drain pipe, median instead of central reservation. And finally, there's a word difference for something that I spoke about earlier, verges. At least verges are what we call them in England.
In America, verges must be so prevalent that no single American can agree on what to call them.
In Pennsylvania and parts of the Midwest, they apparently call it a berm. In the upper Midwest, it's a boulevard or a
strip.
boulevard
Yeah.
strip. New Englanders might go with a common.
In
Common.
parts of Ohio, it's called a
Common.
curb strip, while in other parts of Ohio, it's called a devil strip.
People in Ann Arbor, Michigan have been known to call it an extension lawn, which makes
I
sense
didn't know
because
that.
it's an extension of your lawn.
See, that I didn't know.
New Jersey seems to like the term grass bay, while others on the
Oh, yeah?
East Coast go with grass plot.
Except for Long Islanders who think it's an island strip.
In the Pacific Northwest, the
I used to live in Jersey. I didn't know that. That I didn't know. I I did not know that.
word median suffices, while Northern Californians think it's a most strip. Down in the Gulf states, it's often known as neutral ground, which also makes sense because while a verge might be an extension of my lawn, other people's dogs do routinely shit on it.
What do you call it, Arthur? You probably just call it toilet, don't you?
That's why I always say if I buy a house, there's some nice suburbs where you don't need. I mean, you could build your own. You could have your own fence around your house. So like I said, it all depends. But I like to have a fence around my house because I don't know. I just like my privacy, you know. I don't want no problems with anyone. I just want to be isolated, you know.
Yes.
Some states know it as a parking strip, a park row,
Yeah,
or a
park
park
row,
row
park row,
strip.
yeah.
In Wisconsin and Illinois, it occasionally goes by a right-of-way.
Alternatively, some
Sidewalk
Americans opt for
lawn.
sidewalk lawn, sidewalk plot, sidewalk strip, and in central Indiana, I once heard
I
it
never
called
heard
a sidewalk
sidewalk
taint. Like,
I never heard
what?
sidewalk
In
taint.
southern Florida, some might even call it a swale, even though that sounds more like a species of fish. Some Missourians call it a terrace, which coincidentally is what the British call row houses, while some Americans will call it a tree box, a tree belt, or a tree lawn.
Damn, some of these things I never heard of.
Why are there so many words for this?
Aye,
And what do
yeah.
you call it other
You
than
know what?
that
I agree
grassy
with
thing
you.
over
It's a lot of
there?
words.
Let me know in the comments below. And that's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever lived in a suburb and the general greenliness of your trees. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter and or Threads, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that I don't have to. And while we're on the subject, here's a video of some of the culture shocks that I experienced after moving into my first American suburb, and you're going to watch that video next. Thank
I used to live in the suburbs, but like I said, some places you could have a gate around your house. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I used to live in the suburbs, so. But I understand what he's saying, you know. Sometimes you just want your own privacy sometimes too, you know. But it's funny, he didn't know he had to like mow his own lawn. How do you not know that? Like, they didn't tell him before he bought the house? That's crazy. All right, y'all. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I'll see y'all later. Take care. Bye.